Hello friends, and welcome to the first video of my channel. In this video, I want to share with you how I practice Hygge, or the Danish art of cozy living here in Western Colorado. It's a shoulder season here in Western Colorado. Fall is over, and as we slowly transition into winter, it becomes an odd time for the outdoors. In this first week of December, in this high desert climate, it is still too dry for the first snow down in our valley, but it's getting so cold that you do need to start bundling up a bit more to go outside. Hygge is a concept I stumbled across a few years ago as I was investigating Scandinavian culture and did a bit of a deep dive into how to make the desert feel as cozy and atmospheric in the winters as I would feel up north in the Midwest or in the Swedish forest cabin of my dreams. I found that Hygge is best found in the small things that we usually rush through and take for granted. But on a day you might otherwise be snowed in or forced inside, quarantine, you might do things a little more intentionally to make your day all that much cozier. For me, a Hygge-filled day starts with waking up early before the sun rises so I can be sure to share in the beautiful sunrise. Maybe listen to my audiobook and feel the brisk air outside with my favorite cup of tea. Even making the bed can be a cozy act of self-care as you prepare your space to reflect the state of inner wellness you're wanting to surround yourself with. It's about the little things like writing on a fresh page of your journal, or maybe even just making a collage in your journal that brings you joy to look at when you open it to that same page next time. Also things just like picking out your favorite cozy sweater to wear, even if you know you're not leaving the house today. Just taking a moment to find that piece of clothing that you don't always pick out, but you know as soon as you put it on, it brings you joy just to feel your favorite fluffy sweater on your skin. There's also something to be said about literally taking a moment to stop and smell the roses, or even if it's just the last rose left on that overgrown bush outside from summer. This is a season that invites the spirit of resilience and contentment, and what could be more cozy and inviting than baking cookies? My personal favorite cookie for this time of year is snickerdoodles. There's just something about cinnamon sugar and a chewy, not overly sweet, classic cookie that tells my soul cold times are here and that it's okay to welcome them and find the ways to make the most of the approaching winter season. Baking is always such a therapeutic and joyful thing, but it feels even more soothing just when it happens this time of year. One thing my mom and her friends always did was a cookie exchange between all the friends, where each person baked a different kind of cookie and baked enough to exchange 1 dozen with each person for a dozen of their cookies. Yes, that's a lot of cookies, but I always had the best time helping and choosing a fun new recipe that we got to try together. And of course, cookies are always best when enjoyed with loved ones. Or furry ones.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through and through.
Another thing that just helps set the mood for all things coziness are fuzzy blankets. I love treating myself to new soft throws at TJ Maxx, and knowing we have a little corner designated for them to sit all rolled and looking cozy until someone needs one is also just a nice bonus.
See, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more.
Drinking a cup of tea from my Scandinavian great-great-grandmother's china set that she had to purchase one piece at a time also just makes me feel so at home and connected to my roots in a way that feels a little more like an indulgence than when I'm drinking out of my average cup of tea's teacup. There's something about just the art of making a cup of tea in a special cup of china that you know you're only using because you're planning on fully and totally enjoying every moment. Picking up a new craft or hobby to do inside when it gets cold can also be really therapeutic for the body and mind. I had brain surgery last May, and when I got really stir crazy when I got home at first, crafting was something that really helped me. I taught myself hand embroidery. I can link the videos that I used to learn in the description below for you, but have since learned how to stitch my own designs and be a little more creative than just following a printable pattern online. Something about this craft just feels so old-fashioned and nostalgic, like I'm part of the Marsh family in Little Women. I never had any sisters, but I'd like to imagine that if I did, it would be a similar dynamic of big personalities competing for space. Whatever cozy indoor or maybe outdoor-indoor project you find to do, I think just making sure it's something where you're using your hands and creating something through a process with a clear beginning, middle, and end, that's what really relaxes and sparks joy for your soul to see and tangibly feel when you're finished with that project. Of course, snuggling up with the dogs on the couch as the sun's beginning to set is also not too bad either.
I cannot help you.
He's got Padfoot. He's got Padfoot at the place where it's hidden.
As I mentioned towards the beginning of the video, one thing that comes to mind synonymous with hygge is the lighting of candles, soft lighting in your space, turning the lights off, and just reading or doing whatever activity that you were doing before by candlelight. Something that a lot of Scandinavian homes tend to have are specifically candlesticks rather than jar candles like a lot of us in America tend to think of when we light a candle. Personally, the stick candles are one of my favorites, but they make my husband super nervous, so they must be monitored at all times, as they should be in any home, but especially if you have pets or children. But also, they're just beautiful to see that soft glow on the wall compared to a jar candle. And finally, one of my favorite, absolute all-time favorite year-round cozy activities is a relaxing bubble bath with candlelight, of course, and probably a good book if you can help yourself from getting the pages all wet. I never can. Until next time, relish this season of changing seasons and I hope that you each find your own routine of being cozy and bringing some hygge into your home in the upcoming holiday season. For now, bye friends.